So here we are going to talk about pie charts. And a pie chart is just another way of providing a visual of information. But the benefits of a pie chart are different than the benefits of other graphs. For example, a pie chart considers the parts to wholes, or parts of a whole, or the whole. It also helps you look at proportions, and they also are sometimes called circle graphs. Another thing to remember about a pie chart is that with the pie chart, you sometimes don't need the table of data like you would with, say, a line graph or a histogram. So, in summary, what pie charts do, they display and they compare the sizes of parts that make up the whole. Let's take a look at this example. We have 200 chairs in a warehouse. 80 of them are plastic chairs, 30 are metal, 40 are wicker, and the rest are wooden. The pie chart represents the number of chairs of each type. So we know there's 200 chairs total. That means that this whole circle pie chart is going to have to equal 200 chairs, right? Because parts of the whole. So if we were looking here at these following questions, for A, which type of chair is found in the greatest quantity? Well, visually you can see that that's plastic chairs. For letter B, how many wooden chairs are there? Okay, well, we have plastic, metal, and wicker, right? And that gives us 150. Well, if we know there's 200 chairs total, well, what's left is 50. So the wooden chairs, the amount of wooden chairs is going to be 50. 50. For letter C, which fraction of the chairs are plastic chairs? Now you have to remember your studies from fractions. Remember, fractions is parts to wholes. So if the plastic chair, if there's 80 of them out of how many total? 200. So 80 over 200, and of course we can simplify that. And that would get us 2/5. Okay, so what fraction of the chairs are plastic? 2/5. That's the fraction. I mean, we could say 80 over 200, but really we want to do simplest form. All right, and then the last one for D, how many times as many plastic as wicker chairs are there? Now, sometimes the way those questions are worded can be a little confusing. So what I did was I turned it around and made an answer statement. So there are blank times as many plastic as wicker chairs. So visually looking at that, we could say that, oh, there are 2 times as many wicker chairs as plastic because you have 80 plastic and 40 wicker. So we know that that's double. So that is 2 times as many plastic as wicker chairs. So we can also analyze data when looking at pie charts or circle graphs. We just have to look at the information in a different way other than we have with the line graphs or the histograms. Okay? So now let's do some more. Well, okay, let's do one more. So this pie chart represents the amount of money collected by various booths at a carnival. All right, yay, carnivals are fun. Cool. All right, so looking at A, what fraction of the total amount of money was collected by the games booths? So do you notice we don't have a table or a chart, but that's okay because the pie graph gives us the information that we need. So we see that the games booth took up a certain amount, as did the other ones. Let's see here. Okay. Looking here at that little square, that tells us that that's a right angle. So understanding geometry, the handicraft booth gives us $3,000. So since the games booth also has that little arrow, that little square, that's also a 90-degree angle. So that's going to be the same exact amount as the handicraft booth. So if the handicraft booth is $3,000, that means that the games booth is also going to be $3,000. And so to find the total amount, we have to add up all the amounts for all 4. So we have the food booths is $4,800. The handicraft is $3,000. And the games is also $3,000. Now, the red one, that says music booth. So that does not have a dollar amount. That means we have to figure it out. So in order to do that, you have to understand a little bit about rules of circles, which we studied, right? We know that the full circle is a complete, right? We also know that you can get 4 90-degree angles out of a complete circle, right? So if the handicraft booth and the games booth are both right angles, I'm going to go ahead and reposition some of this stuff. I'm going to call the H the handicraft booth, the G the games booth, right? So those two together equal an amount of 6,000, right? That means that the last two booths of food and music is going to also have to equal 6,000. However, you notice I put an F here for food. That is actually not accurate because the food is way more than the music. But regardless, the two of those together, they're still going to equal 6,000. Okay? Because to have a complete circle, you're going to have to do that. So I know I said that quickly. If that's confusing, ask me about that in class because I went through it quickly because you should understand the rules of circles, okay? But if not, that's okay. Just ask me in class. So that said, the food and the music also needs to equal 6,000, okay? We know that the food is 4,800. That means the music, I'm going to highlight that in green. That means the music is going to make up the remainder of what the $6,000. So that's going to be 1,200, right? 4,800 plus 1,200 is $6,000. So that tells us that the music booth right here is $1,200. So we can come back over here and add that. And so now we have all four amounts, and we can add those together. And that gives us $12,000. So the whole thing is $12,000. On letter A here, they're asking us what fraction of the total amount of money was collected by the games booth. Well, the games was $3,000. The total for the whole pie chart is $12,000. So there's our fraction, but again, we have to put it in simplest form, right? So after we go through all the wonderful simplification, we get to 1/4. Okay? So, okay, this video is 8 minutes long. We're going to stop. But I do want you, for homework, to go ahead and finish B, C, and D in the same format as you did your line graphs. I want you to do it on a separate sheet of paper with your name and your date and title it Circle Graphs or Pie Charts. That's fine. Answer those 3 questions. Then I want you to do this right here that I'm squaring in blue. I want you to work in your workbook on pages 123 through 126. Okay? And that is due on Thursday. Turn in to me by 8 a.m. so that you can get credit for it. And let me know if you have any questions. Just email me and let me know if you have any questions.